Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thank you all for joining and watching the show. Welcome to Hoff's Public Domain Horrorfest. I am your host, Hoff Matthews, and this is, of course, a live comedy show and horror movie screening series. And we are live. This is really live. I'm so glad that the blue checks are back on Twitter, right? Are you guys online enough to know what I'm talking about with that? Whatever. This is live, and what we do is we show a horror movie and we break it up with comedy host segments from me and my co-producers, like what's happening right now. This is a show that we used to do physically live at Cantina Royal in Brooklyn. They, of course, had to stop doing live events because of COVID-19. We moved the show online, and unfortunately, I have to start tonight's show with some sad news. We have learned that Cantina Royal is going to be closing permanently for, I believe, obvious reasons. So, I don't know that anybody from Cantina Royal is watching this show right now, but I do want to take this opportunity to just thank them for having given our show a home for what ended up being about a year. It's a really cool spot, and Horrorfest is not the easiest show to make space for. It's pretty long, it has a lot of tech requirements, but the Cantina people always made us feel welcome and gave us everything we needed to do the show right. And I do also want to thank Brooklyn Comedy Collective, which took over the Cantina event space programming in late last year, I believe, and was generous enough to grandfather us into a spot on the schedule. So thanks to those people. And, it sucks to see this happening. Obviously, losing independent event spaces or local bars and restaurants is not the most tragic or urgent thing happening right now, but it is just one more example of our society falling apart in ways which would be completely avoidable if the people running the country actually gave a shit at all. So, again, sorry to start the show on a down note like that, but thanks once again to Cantina Royal and everybody that we worked with there. And I do also have some good news this week. It's not all bad news. I've been running this show with my friend Andrei Alupului, but this week, as of this show, we are adding two new writer-producers, George Gordon and Marybess Pritchett. George is a great stand-up comedian. He has an album, Your Good Friend, which I recommend everybody check out. You might hear me laughing on it. I was at one of the tapings. And Marybess has worked on tons of stuff, including an Inconvenient Talk Show, which I believe is coming back July 24th, and this show, which she has worked on as an associate producer for the last few installments. So George and Marybess worked on the material that you're going to see tonight and in the weeks to come, and we're very excited to have them on board. So yeah, if you're in the chat, welcome George and Marybess there. No, Andrei did not die. Andrei is still with us and still also working on the show, so it's the four of us at the moment. And so that concludes our news segment, I guess, for this week. I hope we do have new people watching the show this week, but I apologize that this is all you're getting one of the Mythos episodes right now. But we should get into what we're actually doing tonight. We're showing the movie The WASP WOMAN from 1959, directed by Roger Corman, the patron saint of public domain horror movies. We've shown two of his movies previously, A Bucket of Blood and The Terror, so this will be the third. And it's the story of a cosmetics CEO who becomes addicted to an experimental rejuvenation treatment made from wasp jelly, which turns out to have some sinister side effects. And it's going to be fun, and I think because we're doing a movie about wasps and science, sort of, I wanted to start off by bringing in an expert who can talk about the reality of wasps. If you guys saw our Devil Bat episode, we had a bat expert on at the beginning, so this time we're going to bring on the entomologist, Muffy Springwalter. So I'm going to see if I can bring her on here. So let's see. Hello, Muffy, can you hear me? Wonderful. The audience probably can't hear you yet, but give me a second. All right. I think everything should be good now. Muffy,
should I go ahead and
go ahead and turn your video on there. We are ready.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. I am in my regalia, ready to share my expertise. So,
I love it.
with your permission, I'll just go ahead and share my screen.
By all means, yeah.
Okay. Oh, it says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Yeah, that makes sense. There we go. Should be fixed now. This is just
Okay.
a live show, just
Um,
off the cuff DIY, guys. We're making it happen.
Incredible. So, hello everyone. My name is, well, I'll share the slide first. My name is Muffy Springwalter, ENT. That's ear. It's not ear, nose, and throat doctor. It's entomologist. It's just a common misconception. ENT really should refer to entomologists. And for the past 10 years, I have been engaged in the study of Hymenoptera. Now, if you are confused by this taxonomically complex word, it's hymen, like a woman's chastity, and optera, like opera with a T. Who doesn't enjoy the opera with T? You also can't spell operate without opera and T. And boy, do I hope your hymen operates when the time comes. Uh, is is any of this political? Well, let's find out. I've been invited today to speak about my field of expertise, and I was actually inspired by a Twitter meme. So I thought that I would begin by sharing a meme and then my own version of this meme. I'm quite active on Twitter. So there's been this meme going around where people recrown the villains of movies and television. um they say the movie villain, the actual villain. Here's an example. I'm told that this is a film called the Devil Wears Prada. And they say the villain is this woman with white hair, when in fact it's this man with brown hair who I've never seen in my life. But I did my own version. This is me, Muffy the Antlier Slayer. It's because a lot of people lie about ants, which is actually ants are in the same suborder as wasps, and I'll get to that momentarily. But here's my version of this tweet without spoiling anything in the film, which I've only seen once. I would say that the movie villain, everybody thinks, it's the Wasp Woman, right? Here she is on the poster being mean, when actually I would venture to say that the actual villain is society. Yes, it is society. And you might be thinking, because you are a member of society, who me? Prejudice? No. But I would challenge you to look back in your childhood and assess whether you engaged in prejudicial chants as a kid against Hymenoptera. You might find that you have said the words be aggressive. You might have even thought two or more. You might have said be aggressive. But two B's or not two B's is actually for another session, because today I wanted to talk about wasps. So wasps, Hymenoptera, they belong to a suborder called Apocryta, which is actually just about the presence of a waste. That is the only thing that defines wasps, as opposed to other stinging insects. And anyway, and ants are also part of Apocryta because they have those little wastes. As you can see, I have this belted waist to demonstrate. Um, but beyond the waste, beyond the presence of the waste, in terms of wasp varieties, it's really, the Wild West. Or should I say, the wild nest? Or should I say the wild wasp? I shouldn't say any of those things because I'll get in trouble with my fellow ENT colleagues. But this is a wasp. This is a wasp. Even this is a wasp. And of course, more familiarly, this is a wasp. As you can see, the only really defining aspect that ties them all together is that they have wastes. And if you're having trouble remembering that, there's a proverb that my colleagues and I throw around, which is, it's quite simple, really. It's just waste not, wasp not. So feel free to adopt that. But that's what defines a wasp. So I just like to go through a number of WASP behaviors and explain a little bit about the taxonomy and talk about how they've been maligned by the actual villain of society. So, wasp behaviors. They are hardworking, so they pollinate or the flower. Well, they don't. They don't. So here's the thing: bees are fuzzy, and the pollen sticks to their legs and bodies. But wasps are smooth and slick, so they don't have anything sticking to them. So they have to work harder to get the nectar to bring it back to the hive for their queen. They're also family oriented. So if a wasp feels harmed or threatened, it will secrete a hormone that tells its family to come and attack the person that made them feel like a victim. I think we all wish we had families like that. Maybe you do. They are ambitious. So as the season wanes and the days get shorter, they are out there kicking bees out of the way, getting the pollen. And finally, they are resourceful. They chew up wood and turn it into paper to create nests. It's really quite something to behold. So those are the behaviors.
Well, Muffin, sorry to break in here. It looked like you missed one of those bullet points there.
Yeah, we have to move on.
Okay.
So what's in a royal name? Um, there is a queen of the hive, and what is a queen? Well, queens are the only members of a colony of social insects that can reproduce. So, what we're really talking about when we talk about queens is baby laying females. They are chosen by the hive the previous year and fed a special diet of royal jelly as larvae, and then throughout their entire lives because they're queens. And as a result, they enjoy the longest lifespan, living for up to 12 months. Because when the fertile females are mated with, they go and they hibernate. And then at the end of the winter, they come out, they got all these eggs that are fertilized from the previous season, and they got to go lay them in little honeycombs, which they have to build themselves. Very long process. Now, fertile females being the only wasps that survive the winter mean that if you see a wasp in the winter, it is a queen. So think about that. Also, queens must rule or perish. So when the queen comes out of hibernation and she's trying to build a hive, if she doesn't build a hive, not only is she not a queen, she's also a dead wasp, because they'll just die if they don't build a hive. So a queen does not rest until she has built her empire colony. Queens do not relax because she lays all these eggs. They don't contribute anything. They're not born yet. And then she got to go and chew up more wood, turn it into paper for the nests. And then she got to go back and forth, lay more eggs. The eggs are just hatching. She got to feed the eggs. And then finally they become these adult members of the wasp society who can help out around the house a little. And then she retires to her queenly throne, which is probably just a hole in, the nest. And finally, a queen goes down with her empire. So at the end of the season, when all the male wasps die, the queen dies too, because the new queen has been, kind of crowned in the body of a fertile female that will go hibernate and become a queen next year. Children are the future. So that's what a queen wasp really is. Just a lady with a purpose. Will royal jelly turn me into a queen? I know that that's what you may be asking yourself now. Science does not yet have the answers. You might be thinking, wasps put royal jelly, they feed it to their babies. The baby becomes the queen. Why not me? Well, from experience, I can say that it does taste bad. And maybe you should weigh the cost benefit of eating something that tastes bad in order to ascend. Maybe people who do ayahuasca would disagree with me. And finally, wasps do not play God. So why should we? Why would a wasp rub royal jelly on itself? It doesn't do it for an extraneous purpose. It just says, this is this essential thing I need to survive. And then when it dies, it dies. So why would we take the royal jelly and put it on our faces, which is definitely something that I read in the synopsis of the film. Okay. So moving right along, just wanted to close by saying that, of course, we are all aware of a virus that has overtaken the planet in the last little while. and is affecting the way we live, and I believe is one of the most perilous things we are dealing with right now. And it is spheksophobia, which is the fear of wasps. It is awful. It's a pandemic, and if you are a phobic of wasps, it comes from the word spheko of Greek, which means wasp, then you should reconsider, because wasps are being maligned, and that is the result. That's why we have movies like Wasp Woman, where allegedly wasps are bad. But if you ever need to change your thinking, you can just revert to the old saying that my colleagues and I exchange in the industry, which is, of course, that Sphex sells. So in any case, that concludes the part of my presentation, but I'm happy to answer any WASP related questions that you may have before I go.
Thank you, Muffy. That was very thought-provoking. If anybody in the stream chat has any questions for Muffy, this is your chance to weigh in. I guess I have one. Why were you tasting wasp jelly? Is that like common practice for entomologists, or what? That's just a personal thing?
we have galas every little while, and we like to sample some things that the bugs are eating, just because we have to be humble. We don't want to believe that we know best. What if what the wasps are eating is great? What if it's like the new delicacy? So
it's not,
I had tasted it.
Yeah. What else did you taste at these events? If you don't mind my asking.
See.
I mean,
cockroach milk.
I didn't know you could milk cockroaches.
Yeah, it's actually it's going to be one of the new milk alternatives in coffee shops, I believe, very soon.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of other things I've tasted that are meant for bugs and not for humans. Oh, centipede spit.
Okay. How was that?
Spicy.
Wow, I would not have expected that. We do have some questions from the stream chat here.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Bee Movie?
Right. Bee Movie is interesting because it anthropomorphizes a bee as a comedian, which, I have my issues with, because bees are really sincere. In fact, bees are, when bees dance, they kind of have these dance battles, and the bee that has the best enthusiasm convinces the other bees to go to the place. So if the bee were sarcastic, like the Bee in Bee Movie, and just kind of asking people if they like jazz, then no one would go to their flower.
So you sort of consider comedy an inherently dishonest endeavor, it sounds like.
I would say, as it relates to the personification of insects, insects are very hardworking. This wasp in the slide I have is not doing comedy.
That's true. Yeah, unless it's like a pratfall of some sort. Also, we also have, who has a more painful sting, wasps or the police? Is another question.
Yes.
Police is not capitalized, question. But I assume that's the musical.
Definitely the police.
Yeah.
The police are not yet rated on the Schmidt Pain Index, which is the official scale of insect bite pain. But given that the police are proven to be, pests, I believe that they should be added and would rank higher.
Good. Well, okay. I guess that's it. You had answers to all those questions. You're very authoritative. So we really appreciate you coming on the show and clearing this stuff up for us.
Of course. It was my pleasure, and I hope that Wasp Woman provides some further insight into the creatures.
Absolutely. I think it will. Thank you. Muffy Springwalter, everybody. Have a good night. All right. So I guess we're just about ready to get the movie started. I'll tell you guys, as always, we did put a few little visual jokes in the film itself. Not that much. Most of it is just the regular movie, but here and there you'll catch some Easter eggs, so keep an eye out for that. I'll be back on in 15 minutes or so, but for now, please enjoy Act 1 of The Wasp Woman.
can see, gentlemen, sales for the last fiscal quarter have dropped 14.5%. There has not been a corresponding drop in our competitor sales. I trust one of you gentlemen has a satisfactory explanation for this decline. Not one little suggestion, gentlemen. We'll start with you, Thompson. As public relations manager, no doubt you have some faint glimmering of what's happening to Stalin products. Well, Thompson?
Well, you see, I
had no idea you were such an excellent public speaker, Thompson.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Starlin. I guess I'm not feeling very well this morning.
I'm sorry you aren't.
I think I can tell you why Starlin products are falling off so badly, Miss Starlin.
We're listening, Lane. Where would you put the responsibility for this decline?
On you, Miss Starlin.
I imagine you have arguments to support that contention.
We've all been looking at it for the past 20 minutes. The most convincing argument is right on that graph. May I show you? Thank you. Now, right here in April is when Starlin sales started falling off.
Very clever of you, Lane.
Would you mind waiting until I finish, Miss Starlin?
That's enough, Lane.
Relax, Willis. My apologies for the interruption. Go on.
Thank you. Now, as I said, sales began to fall in April, but the reason for the fall was back here in February. Starlin products have always been thought of as something of a modern miracle in the cosmetics trade. A firm built to a multi-million-dollar-a-year business on the strength and appeal of one person, Janice Starlin. From the beginning right through until February of this year, only one woman's face was used to advertise those products. Your face, Miss Starlin. The public have come to accept you as a symbol. Well, now, after 16 years, they see a different face. They don't trust it. They feel cheated. The simple fact is that Starlin Cosmetics should have Janice Starlin's picture advertising them. Well, that's about all I've got to say.
And a darn good job of saying it, too. I agree. Lane makes a lot of sense on that score, Miss Starlin.
I think I've had enough flattery for one morning, gentlemen. It was a very convincing argument, Lane.
There's a Mr. Zinthrop to see Miss Starlin.
There's only one small factor you've overlooked. Not even Janice Starlin can remain a glamour girl forever.
Miss Starlin,
Yes, Mary.
there's a Mr. Zinthrop in reception. He says he has an appointment.
Thank you. Well, this has been a very informative get-together. That'll be all for now. Oh, Arthur,
Yes, Miss Starlin.
I'd like to see you in my office, please.
Sure, Miss Starlin. Take it easy, hotshot. Something on your mind, Miss Starlin?
You've done some work on royal jelly, haven't you?
A little.
Are there any real therapeutic values in it?
Well, I'd say so. Of course, a lot depends on each individual's reaction to the stuff.
What do you mean?
It's just that no two people react in precisely the same way. One man's meat's another man's poison.
Oh. But you think royal jelly can be beneficial in some cases?
Queen bees set a lot of store by it.
I'll accept that as an affirmative answer. Supposing a more powerful form of royal jelly could be obtained. From the queen wasp, for example. I mean, well, do you suppose that might have some rejuvenating effect on a human being?
I'd stay away from wasps if I were you, Miss Starlin. Socially, the queen wasp is on a level with the black widow spider. They're both carnivorous. They paralyze their victims and then take their time devouring them alive. They kill their mates in the same way, too. Strictly a one-sided romance.
Well, I'm not exactly interested in the love life of the queen wasp. I want your opinion on the possibilities of using enzyme extracts from royal wasp jelly, commercially.
Well, if you want an honest opinion, Miss Stalin,
Of course I want an honest opinion.
then my advice is forget about it.
Thank you, Arthur.
Anytime, Miss Stalin.
Have Mr. Zinthrop come in.
Yes, Miss Darlin. You can go in now, sir.
Oh, about time.
Janice Starlin Enterprises.
Miss Darlin?
Yes. How do you do? I'm afraid I won't be able to give you much time, Mr. Zinthrop.
But it is I who give you the time, Miss Darlin. Oh, yes. Plenty time I give you. 10, maybe 15 years I give you.
I want you to understand one thing very clearly, Mr. Zinthrop. I expect absolute proof of what you claimed in your letter. Tangible proof, not words.
Such proof you shall get, madame, and more. But I think I better show you in the laboratory, yes?
All right. Come on.
Look.
They look terrible. Why don't you put them out of their misery?
Madame, you ask for proof. Please be kind enough to look at proof you ask for. May I proceed? Thank you. Now, come, little dirty. In a few minutes, madame, you shall see a miracle you shall not believe. Oh, no tricks. You may look if you like. I have no tricks. Well, don't look at me. I'm not changing.
Don't believe it. It's not possible.
I see you do not believe one animal, so I bring two. I show you again, yes?
Yes, I must be sure.
Yes, madame. Miss Darling, does my secret have interest for you, yes?
What are your terms, Mr. Zinthrop?
First, I must have a laboratory equipped with everything I need for my research. If we're successful, well, I ask for a little percentage. But I must get full credit for my discovery. That is most important to me.
I'll have Gordon draw up the contracts.
Oh, contracts. Contracts I do not need. You give me your word. Good enough for me.
You amaze me. Frankly, when I received your letter, I thought you were just another eccentric. But there was always a chance you might not be. Then you walk in here and show me nothing short of a miracle. 2 miracles. And you say that you'll accept my word that I won't cheat you.
You won't. I know you're a good woman, even if you do not like other people to know it. However, my formula may not be good for human beings. I have not tested yet.
You will on me.
Oh, no. There might be danger.
Those are my terms, Mr. Zinthrop. Janice Starlin will be your next guinea pig.
though it may take a little time to prepare sufficient extract, a week, maybe more.
I'll make whatever arrangements you may need for your equipment.
Thank you, madame. Now I see how you built all this.
I'm very close to losing it, Mr. Zinthrop. Maybe working together we can save Janice Starlin Enterprises. Maybe even make it bigger than ever before.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Oops. Oh, spoiler there. Hopefully you guys didn't look that closely at that bug. Okay, so you guys might have seen in the opening credits that the soundtrack to this film was done by a Mr. Fred Katz. I'll throw a picture of him. There he is. And we actually have a wonderful surprise tonight. We didn't tell anybody we were going to do this. We didn't tell Mr. Katz we were going to do this because he's been dead since 2013. But tonight, we are actually inducting him into the Public Domain Horror Movie Soundtrack Hall of Fame. This is very exciting that we get to do this here on the show tonight. And for the ceremony, I'm just going to say a few words about Mr. Katz's life and his body of work, and just do a little bit of a tribute to him. So, just a second here. Let me, okay. Genius is a word that gets thrown around a lot. What does it mean to be a genius? Webster defines the word genius as a very smart or talented person. A person who has a level of talent or intelligence that is very rare or remarkable. A person who is very good at doing something. Great natural ability. A definition of genius that I would like to add to Webster's would be the act of getting work without actually doing any work. And by that definition, Mr. Frederick Katz was a genius. Mr. Katz used his talent and intelligence to compose the score for Roger Corman's masterpiece, A Bucket of Blood, which we've shown on this show. It was a score so great that when asked to compose music for other Roger Corman films, he allegedly sold that same score as if it were new music to the tune of 7 times, including for tonight's film, The Wasp Woman. Now that is genius. And his genius doesn't end there. Mr. Katz was born in Williamsburg, it's a real album cover, by the way, Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and became a communist at an early age, placing him approximately 100 years ahead of the Williamsburg trends. He was a child prodigy and is widely regarded as the very first jazz cellist. That's true. While growing up in New York, he released 5 records, including the landmark album Folk Songs for Far Out Folk, a masterpiece of the far out folk genre. Not wanting to rest on his past achievements, Katz spent the latter part of his life teaching world music, anthropology, and religion as a professor at California State Fullerton and California State Northridge, where he taught for 30 years. He even taught John Densmore, the drummer for The Doors, which just goes to show nobody's perfect. Us here at Horrorfest would like to take the time to induct into the Public Domain Horror Movie Soundtrack Hall of Fame a true Renaissance man, the one, the only, a man whose genius is on another level, Mr. Fred Katz. So, there you go. A wonderful man who we had the privilege of honoring here tonight. I hope you've been enjoying his music so far in the film, and I hope you'll enjoy it even more going forward. So, let's watch some more of the movie.
I'm sure the next 3 months we'll see a rise in Starlin sales that will surpass anything we've dared imagine. Mr. Zinthrop is working on the final stages of a development that will revolutionize the cosmetic industry. He's to have a free hand in his experiments and will be answerable to no one but myself. At the moment, I cannot divulge the nature of Mr. Zinthrop's experiments, but I can assure you it will bring worldwide recognition to Janice Starlin Enterprises.
I don't know. This Zinthrop must be the granddaddy of all confidence men to take in a gal like Starlin. Why doesn't somebody wise her up?
Like you, for instance? Bill, what makes you think Zinthrop really isn't on the level? After all, we don't even know what he's working on. It could be very legitimate.
You're as bad as she is. Oh, women.
Men. Every time you're stuck for an answer, you always come up with women. You're not getting out of this one so easily. I'd like to know why you think Zinthrop really hasn't got something.
Well, you can call it male intuition if you like. It's just that there's something about this whole business that doesn't smell right. The private laboratory, the secret experiments, Zinthrop himself. The only thing that's missing is a genie with a lamp.
You better leave the intuition to me. Come on. I'll let you buy me dinner.
Buy you dinner? What's happened to your sporting blood? I thought we were going to toss for the check.
Oh, no. You won the last 3 times.
All right, look, I'll make a deal with you. Dinner is on me if you promise to keep an eye on what goes on in there.
What do you want me to do? Read her mail and send you messages in secret code?
You could do worse.
Oh, no, Mr. Cooper, not you, too.
I've been trying to tell Bright Eyes here that I think Zinthrop is a phony and a confidence man.
If I were sure of that, I wouldn't be worried. I think he's a lot more dangerous. A quack.
Well, I don't follow you, Coop.
Well, a confidence man would just be interested in your money. The only damage they can do is to your pocketbook. A quack can be fatal.
So I says to him, I says, listen, Irving, I'm getting sick of this TV every night. I mean, you know, we can do the same thing in a nightclub. Well, almost. Good morning. Janice Starlin Enterprises. I got 2 words for you. Drop dead. Twice. Irving? Calls me to tell me Dr. Cyclops is on Channel 9 tonight. What crust? You've seen it twice already.
Good morning. Is Miss Darlin in her office now?
Miss Starlin's in conference. Would you like to speak to her secretary?
Oh, no. Just say to Miss Darlin I should like to see her when she has time, huh?
Yes. Was there something else, Mr. Zinthrop?
Oh, no. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. What a character. A regular 2-eyed Dr. Cyclops. Even the bow.
Good morning. May I see Miss Zodling, please?
He's a real weirdie.
Wonder what his game is.
Who cares?
You know, Morton thinks he's a crackpot. I heard him telling Cooper so. Old Bug Eyes really has the execs worried.
About what?
That's just it. They don't know.
Oh. So anyway, back to Irving.
Good morning, Miss Darling. Good morning.
Good morning. I couldn't get away any sooner. Is it important?
Miss Darlin, do you remember the big cat I showed you last week? No?
What about it?
Well, I want you to look at him. Come.
No.
Quite a difference, yes?
That's incredible. The same mark.
It's a cat.
You're young again. Can you realize what that means? You're a kitten again. Your whole life to live over. How does it feel?
I think perhaps you'll be able to find out for yourself, Miss Darling. Today will be your first injection. Come.
What is it, Gleason? I sent you a memo. Mr. Zinthrop has carte blanche to order anything he requires. It is no concern of yours, Gleason. Make out a check for the full amount.
Sue? Mary, can I talk to Mr. Lane a minute? Bill? Hey, listen. Gleason just got a bill for $2,300. Zinthrop. Enzyme extracts.
Yes, we are making progress. There's great improvement in the tissue.
Why is it taking so long? It's the third week.
You forget, my dear, there's more to you than a little kitten, no? Besides, there's a difference in metabolism.
Why not increase the dosage? Wouldn't that step up the process?
Patience, my dear, patience. We must tread lightly, with care. Your arm, please. You know, I've been experimenting with a concentrated solution of the enzymes. Oh, a great deal more powerful than the solution I've been using in your injection.
Oh?
Yes. And I think it will be better for lotions, as an emollient lotion. It'll make estrogenic creams and all such products old-fashioned. My dear, Stalin will be world famous, bringing youth to millions.
If you're right, Zinthrop, there are going to be a few red faces in my advertising department.
But I am right. Why, your own mirror will tell you that I am right. Why, you look at least 5 years younger than you looked 3 weeks ago.
I know.
Will you let me talk to Bill a minute, Sue? Thanks. Bill, I think I've got it. Yeah, I'm a nervous wreck. At lunch.
You'll have to translate for me, Coop. I'm not very good at that technical stuff.
Pseudo-technical. Mr. Zinthrup's a very capable confidence man, from what I read in his letter. He claims he can stimulate the processes of rejuvenation through the use of enzymes extracted from wasps.
Oh, for...
Well, what are you two Sherlocks going to do about it?
Right now, I don't know.
Frankly, I'm getting tired of the whole business. That woman's so intent on holding back time, she's ready to fall for the first phony line she hears. Wasps.
Bill.
Face the facts, Mary. Janice Starland has built her whole life on youth and beauty. Now that she's losing them, she's scared to death. Well, right now, she's on cloud 9 with that quack Zinthrop, but I'd hate to be around when she comes back down to earth.
Well, maybe we can let her down easy. I think we owe her that much.
Yeah. Well, what are we going to do? We can't just let Zinthrop build up her hopes and then knock the props out from under her.
How can he do such a terrible thing? Poor Jan. There must be something we can do before it's too late.
He's got a mighty convincing argument. Very impressive to the layman. 10 to 1, he's got a record just as impressive. Well, there are ways to find out. The answer might be right here in our hands. Heads. I'm going to keep this letter for a day or two.
Wait a minute. Suppose she finds out it's gone. I'm the only one with access to that desk. She'll know I took it.
Well, that's a chance you have to take, Mary.
I think we can be pretty sure that Coop knows what he's doing, honey.
Oh, come on, young lovers.
actually kind of upsetting, right? Our next host segment is actually coming from maybe an unexpected contributor. It's going to be my 14-year-old nephew, Tyler. He put together something for us. Tyler, he's a good kid. You know, he's very energetic, and you know, we're always trying to find good ways for him to apply himself and you know, figure out what he's really interested in. And you know, we've tried to bring him into this show and get him involved before. On our Dead Snow screening back in January, we actually had him put together a report on famous Scandinavians, which I presented at that show. I have a clip of that I'm going to play right now.
Alfred Nobel. The Nobel Peace Prize may have been named after this Swedish businessman, but few people know that he also patented dynamite. Even fewer people know that he invented dynamite for the purpose of killing Nazi zombies. And that's the truth. I don't know if that is technically the truth, but...
Yeah, you can see he doesn't always take his assignments as seriously as he should. That's, you know, more or less an accurate representation of how a lot of his school projects turn out. But, you know, again, I just think if we find the right thing for him to engage with and get involved with, you're going to see his talent shine through. So for this show, we had him put together a video presentation on the WASP Woman's central character, Janice Starlin. And he just sent it over to me. He got it to me in the nick of time. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm excited to see what Tyler put together. So I'm going to put that on now.
As Gordon Gekko famously said in Wall Street, money. I want to have sex with money. But I don't want to get money pregnant. I want money to make me pregnant so I can have a money baby. And I'd kill for that. Tyler Matthews on the beat. It is the thing that drives all CEOs, being business-minded and ruthless. And back before Mikey Agrawal and Steph Curry and other recent girl bosses made their mark on the corporate landscape by doing badass business shit while being women, like fostering abusive work environments and underpaying female employees, Janice Starlin was a powerful woman in business in the 1950s who already did a lot of that dopeness. Janice kept her stronghold on her company by making herself key to its success. She was the face of the company, the owner, and the product designer, and this was the key to keeping her power-hungry employees at bay.
Your face, Miss Starlin. The public have come to accept you as a symbol. Well, now, after 16 years, they see a different face. They don't trust it.
Okay, Jeff, how about you're fired? By making herself central to the success of the company, she completely killed the possibility of a hostile takeover. Sorry, Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg's baller, though. He pays a guy to slit goats' throats just so he can watch him butcher them, and he pretends to be a down-home dude who BBQs at home. It's like prime money robot shit, and I love it. Okay, so look at this. That's what it is to be a real baller, and Mark gets it, and Janice gets it. As soon as she got hip to the fact that people were doubting her, she got a mad scientist to come in and inject her with killer wasp juice. A full half century before dudes even got hip to the fact that nootropics are the absolute shit. Every day I drink my Soylent, and I eat my Gorilla Mindset, and the results speak for themselves. If the world is a dog-eat-dog world, then guess what? I'm the dog, the one that's eating the other dog. And Janice was eating dog too. King shit. Or should I say queen shit? Most people besides Bezos can't get away with that kind of thing, but in the 50s you could, and I intend to get away with it too. But first I gotta be a mogul, and even though I'm a dude, well, I guess sometimes a dude's hero can be a chick. Blah.
I think Tyler really applied himself with that, honestly. Thank you, Tyler. Let's see some more of the film.
What is it, Maureen?
It is you, Miss Darling.
Of course it's me. Who did you think it was?
Well, you look so different.
Finish your nails. Maureen.
Hmm?
I think your phone is ringing.
Oh, yes, Miss Starlin. Good morning. Janice Starlin Enterprises.
Gentlemen, Janice Starlin Enterprises is about to start on the most widespread publicity campaign in the history of the cosmetic industry. Our slogan will be, Return to Youth with Janice Starlin. When Mr. Zinthrop arrives, there will be a press interview, and all questions regarding the rejuvenation process will be referred to him. That'll be all for now, gentlemen.
It's amazing.
Why, it's wonderful.
Really
You look marvelous.
I said that will be all for now, gentlemen. Good morning. Oh, not you, Mary. Wait a moment, please.
Yes, Miss Starlin.
Mary, isn't it wonderful? It's a miracle. A wonderful, incredible miracle.
We were so worried about you. We really thought you were in danger. We even went to plotting how to rescue you from Mr. Zinthrop. It all seems so silly. It seems ridiculous.
Oh, Mary. Mary, how old do I look? Tell me. How old? How old do I look? Tell me. How old?
23, maybe 22.
That's how old I was when I started Janice Starlin Enterprises. Do you realize what that means? I'm back where I started, 18 years ago, with what it took 18 years to accomplish. It's like a dream.
Quacks were treating people with monkey glands. Seemed to work for a while, and then the deterioration set in.
That's awful. Do you think that will happen to Jan?
I don't know. If I could just get inside of his lab and run a breakdown on what he's using.
Zinthrop? Mr. Zinthrop? I want you to find him, Mr. Hellman. I don't care what it costs.
We'll find him, all right. Sooner or later, we find them all.
Time is vital, Mr. Hellman. Every hour he's gone, it means more than you can possibly imagine.
Well, you haven't given me very much to go on. No home address, no former employer, no phone. This is just like starting from scratch.
Mr. Zinthrop wasn't a conventional employee. He didn't go through regular personnel.
Uh-huh. You say he came here about a month ago. Well, how did he come here, Miss Starlin? He just didn't walk in off the street, did he?
The letter. Right here in my drawer.
Maybe, one of the other drawers.
So that's what she meant.
What who meant? Starlin, the letter's been taken and you think you know who took it, is that right?
My secretary, Miss Dennison.
You got her address handy?
Her phone number.
It might be better if I busted in on her cold. This way she'll have a chance to prepare a story.
I know what I'm doing.
All right.
Mary? Janice Starlin.
But before I went to lunch, I made a duplicate copy of Mr. Zinthrop's letter. I was going to take that one to Bill and Mr. Cooper at first, but then I thought that the original would be better.
Have you got the copy?
Yes, it's in my desk.
Get that copy, Miss Dennison. 946 West 73rd Street, Manhattan. Yeah, that's right. Get right on it, Jerry, and check back with me as soon as you can.
We thought Mr. Zinthrop might be trying to work some kind of a confidence scheme on you, Miss Starlin. We only did that to protect you. I'm terribly sorry.
That's all right, Mary. I probably would have done the same thing if I were in your place.
If it's all right with you, Miss Starlin, I'd like to have that Lane and Cooper down here. They might have come up with something that Miss Dennison doesn't know about.
You're right. We can't afford to overlook anything.
Shall I call him?
Please, Mary.
Yeah. Oh. You're sure he's our boy? Uh-huh.
Is he?
Central emergency. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, it looks like we've got him. There's a John Doe down at Central Emergency, auto accident. There's no identification on him, but he was wearing a lab smock and fills Inthrope's description.
Mary, get my coat and Lane, get a cab downstairs. Is he badly hurt?
Head injury, general contusion to the body.
All right, we are sorry to have covered up some of Fred Katz's work there, but Rascal Flatts just seemed to fit so well, you know, like, what can you do? So some of you at this point might be thinking, I don't know, I feel like people might get somewhat judgmental of Janice Starlin during this movie, and some of you might be thinking, whoa, like, I would never do what she does, you know, I would never try this crazy WASP drug or whatever. But I want you to remember, you know, we're not under the pressures that she's under as a CEO and, you know, the face of her company or whatever. We're, you know, as regular people, influenced mainly by advertising. That's what, you know, determines the way we think and the stuff that we want or don't want. And, you know, maybe you would want this WASP drug if there were, you know, slick pharmaceutical commercials for it like you see on network television all the time. So, as a little experiment, we actually have put together a modern pharmaceutical commercial for the WASP drug, which we're going to play for you right now, and, you know, maybe it'll sort of change the way you're thinking about the stuff in this movie. So, I'm going to play that for you now. Are you tired of unsightly wrinkles? Do you wish you could turn back the clock? Do you want to go from looking like this to this? Well, now you can with Waspafrin. Waspafrin is a revolutionary treatment made from real wasp jelly. It's been clinically proven to dramatically reverse the aging process. And best of all, it doesn't involve any hard-to-swallow pills or greasy lotions. Just a simple hypodermic injection administered 4 to 6 times a day.
Waspafrin changed my life. I'm more confident, I'm energized, and my career has become a metaphor for 20th century female empowerment in the workplace. I never thought I'd look this good at 85.
Waspafrin is highly addictive. Side effects may include nausea, headaches, transformation into a murderous human wasp hybrid, and fatigue. Stop taking Waspafrin if you feel yourself thirsting for human blood. Keep out of reach of pets. All wasps shown in this commercial are actually bees. Ask your doctor about Waspafrin today, and if they won't prescribe it for you, kill them. Got a little grim at the end there. Thanks to Natasha Vaynblat for the testimonial. And if anybody is now interested in any doses of Waspafrin, you can hit up my nephew Tyler. I'm told that he is taking orders. But let's see some more of the film. Oh, and by the way, before we do that, I will tell you the next scene we're about to watch has a doctor who is played by the director, Roger Corman. So keep an eye out for that.
He's had a severe injury and there's definite brain damage. Just how much, we can't tell as yet.
How long before you'll know?
It's hard to say, Miss Starlin.
Who's the best man for this kind of injury?
Well, there's several top specialists.
Get the best. I'll take full responsibility for the expenses.
Yes, Miss Starlin.
I don't know, Arthur. I think it best we wait.
It's been 3 days since the accident, Jan. And no sign of improvement. He's still in a coma. You heard what the doctor said. He may never regain consciousness. And even if he does, who knows how badly his brain has been damaged.
Well, I'll give it another 48 hours. If he doesn't regain consciousness by then, well, you can take over the laboratory, Arthur.
Janice.
It's my decision.
incredible. Right in front of our noses. I can't have used it all. I could run a qualitative analysis.
Thing always goes on a fritz right in the middle of a good program.
I want this to be the biggest advertising campaign in the history of cosmetic advertising. Every newspaper and magazine in the country will be flooded with our new slogan, Return to Youth with Janice Darlin.
Excuse me, Miss Darlin.
What is it, Thompson?
Well, I think we should be a little conservative, Miss Darlin. Cosmetics are one thing, medications another. We're liable to run into trouble.
Yes. All advertising copy will be cleared through your office.
Well, it's a touchy business, you know.
Max is right, Miss Darlin.
You don't have to second the motion, Lane. I want one thing understood very clearly now, gentlemen. Janice Darlin Enterprises is going to bring the most fantastically saleable product ever developed by modern cosmetics to the public. And I don't intend to be restricted by timidity on the part of my own staff. Is that clear? Are you all right, Miss Darlin? It's just a little headache, Mary. I'm fine.
Can I get you something?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Thank you.
I have some aspirin in my purse.
It's all right, Mary. Well, that'll be all for now, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hi, sweetie.
Gee, I sure hope they give the girls working at Starlin first crack at that new stuff. Imagine being 18 again.
I guess if it can take 15 years off Starlin, it can take 10 off you.
What do you mean, 10?
Face it, honey. This is Maureen you're talking to.
Yeah? Well, if I were you, I'd take a double dose. Then maybe Irving wouldn't watch television so much.
So who says he looks at it?
I can't imagine what else he does.
3 guesses.
Say, did Cooper come in yet?
Mm-mm. Missed a board meeting this morning. I bet Starlin's having a fit.
He should worry. Uh-oh. See you later.
Bye, honey.
Hi, pretty puss. You know where, Miss Darlin's office is?
sweet number one.
La-dee-da, the Duchess of Flatbush herself.
How'd you like to have this phone wrapped around your ear, wise guy?
It's more like it, sister. Sweet number one.
Thank you. Miss Darling,
Oh, what is it, Mary?
is there anything I can do?
Yes, is Mr. Zinthrop's room ready?
Uh-huh. The nurse is fixing the emergency equipment now, and the ambulance is due any minute.
Be sure to let me know when it arrives. Oh, Mary, please, before you go, could you see if you could work that thing?
Oh, sure. I've seen lots of these.
Oh, simple enough. That'll be all, Mary. Thank you. We've had a room especially made over for you, Mr. Zinthrop. And Miss Warren has a room adjoining yours, so there'll be someone near you at all times.
Thank you. Thank you.
When you're feeling better, Mr. Zinthrop, there are a few things I'd like to discuss with you.
Good, good.
We'll do everything we can to make you comfortable, Mr. Zinthrop. I'm going to spend the nights here in my office. So if anything develops, I'll be on hand.
Thank you. Thank you. Miss Darling. Only there's something. I must tell you something important. But I cannot remember.
I'm sure it can wait. Right now, the main thing is to get you back to health. Take good care of him, Miss Warren.
Yes, Miss Darling.
Sure is funny about old Coop.
You miss his one day of work and you're ready to call missing persons.
Well, he's a pretty conscientious guy, honey. If he felt sick or something, he'd have called in.
Relax. We'll probably be in bright and chipper in the morning.
Oh, am I interrupting something?
Oh, we were just having a little coffee clutch, Miss Starlin. We were talking about Mr. Cooper.
What about Mr. Cooper?
Well, about his missing the meeting this morning. Nobody's been able to reach him all day.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. Mr. Cooper's been here a long time. Probably feels he's entitled to take a day for himself now and then.
That's what I've been trying to tell Mr. Lane.
Oh, by the way, Miss Starlin, how is Mr. Zinthrop?
Oh, fine. In a few days, we'll start the layouts for the campaign.
Oh, I'm ready when you are, boss.
Look those over.
Hey, Bill.
Huh?
Don't go getting any ideas about the boss.
Well, me? Don't be silly. I just wanted to know that I'm an eager member of the team. Still, she is looking a lot younger these days, isn't she? You think Zinthrop would give you any of those treatments? You know, break the watch or something?
Tarantino, there's two.
What's that? What?
Here, lie back now. You just had a bad dream. Lie down now.
Oh,
Go to sleep.
Such horrible sound. Like a nightmare.
It's a bad dream. Lie down. Just a dream.
All right, so like an hour into the movie, we have finally seen the titular WASP woman. And I know some of you are probably upset. People have been complaining about this ever since the movie came out. She doesn't look like what she looks like on the poster. right? In fact, it's kind of the opposite. The poster shows, it seems like a giant wasp with a woman's face, and in the movie, it's a normal-sized woman with sort of a wasp's face, right? And so just in case anybody was disappointed about that, we decided to put together a clip of what the Wasp Woman would look like if she matched what was shown on the poster. So whichever version of the Wasp Woman you prefer, you get them both on this show. So I'm going to play that clip for you right now.
Hello! Oh, my legs are itchy today. Well, time to go lay my eggs in another insect's body.
Very disturbing, honestly. The movie would have been too scary if that was the whole thing. And also, I don't recommend going on the internet and like looking for wasp videos. I gotta say, I watch a lot of horror movies, but for some reason, just video footage of wasps, it's very unsettling. But anyway, if you've been watching the show, you know what time it is. We're almost at the end of the movie, and it is time for the Horror Host Highlight Reel. Wasp Woman has been out since 1959. A lot of people have hosted screenings of it prior to me, and so we like to pay tribute to that tradition by showing a highlight reel of other horror hosts hosting our movie of the night, in this case, The Wasp Woman. So I'm going to put that on now. Please enjoy the work of all of my compatriots in this field.
It's summer, it's hot, it's buggy outside, it's buggy inside, so I thought, what else film to show? The Wasp Woman.
The Wasp Woman.
The Wasp Woman. Tonight's film shall be Wasp Woman. The Wasp Woman.
Wasp Woman.
The Wasp Woman.
The Wasp Woman.
Wasp Woman.
The Wasp Woman.
The Wasp Woman.
The Wasp Woman.
Oh no! Shoo! Shoo! Shoo!
I almost got it that time.
Oh, Deadly? Good thing Deadly's already dead.
Tonight's B movie was produced in painful stethoscope, and I'm told it's best enjoyed with a slight buzz.
Now, as I said, this movie was...
We need to get some of that damn bee cream going on in here. I think we can slash our opponents in half.
We're asking people, if you could have the superpowers of any animal, which one would you choose?
Definitely a lion, a shark, or a badger.
I definitely don't mind eating gerbils or hamsters.
Oh, that crazy Janice, running around turning into a wasp creature and racking up victims. You know how sometimes people do that. It happens.
Now, try not to act, Mr. Zinthrop. You'll only make it worse.
Who knows what Dr. Dinglenut will create? He possibly will be cooking up other devices. Maybe mind control. Possibly cure AIDS.
I mean, talk about your B movies. This one's a honey.
I love the guy with the claws. Whatever he's doing, it really works. So, please enjoy the conclusion of The Wasp Woman.
Tell Mr. Green that personnel is his responsibility. I have other things to think about than worrying whether the night watchman walked off the job.
Well, that's just it, Miss Starlin. Mr. Green feels that the watchman never left the building. His lunch pail and his raincoat are still in the basement.
I don't want to hear anything more about it, Mary.
All right, Miss Starlin.
We'll use these.
Oh, fine.
She swears she heard a scream from one of the other floors. Zinthrop heard it too, but she convinced him he was having a bad dream.
Oh, maybe they both were.
That's not funny anymore, Mary. There's something going on in that building. And I'm going to find out what it is.
Oh.
Have a look around Cooper's lab, for one thing. After that, I don't know.
Hold it steady.
Bill, this is crazy. We could really get in trouble.
I won't tire him, Miss Warren, but it is important.
All right, Mr. Allen. I'll be in my room.
Sinthrop. Sinthrop, you've got to help me. Something's happening. Something's happening to me. I can't control it.
There is something I must remember, but I can't.
Try to think. The WASP enzymes. The extracts you were experimenting with before the accident. Try to think.
I can't.
Well, this is Zinthrup's notebook, Mary. Notes on his experiments with Jan.
Well, how did Cooper get hold of it?
I don't know. If only Coop would show up. Mary, look.
It's Mr. Cooper's pipe.
Well, don't you get it? He's going to go out without his pants and leave that pipe behind. He's still somewhere in the building. I bet a year's salary on it.
If he is.
He's dead. And the night watchman.
There's only enough left for one more injection. One more. You've got to make more, Sinthrop. Help me, Sinthrop.
Please, my head. Oh, my head.
Sinthrop, help me!
Oh, what?
Help me!
Is he asleep?
I don't know.
No, don't touch him.
If anybody knows what's behind all this, it's him. Mr. Zinthrop.
Bill. Look at...
Purse and everything else are still in there. She wouldn't go out without her purse.
Bill, let's get out of here. I don't like it.
The cat. The cat. You must warn her.
Mr. Zinthrop.
Who are you?
Well, there's nothing to be alarmed about, Mr. Zinthrop. I'm Bill Lane, and this is Miss Dennison, Miss Starlin's secretary.
Miss Starlin. The cat.
What about a cat?
Must warn her. Injections. Must not take any more injections.
Is Miss Darlin in danger?
Terrible danger. I must...
Take it easy, Mr. Zinthrop. You're still pretty weak. Mary, see if you can get Jan on the phone.
All right. All right.
There's no answer. Oh, Miss Darlin?
Is that you, Mary?
Where are you? We're in the building. We're in Mr. Zinthrop's room. Something's happened down here.
Here, let me talk to her. Hello, Miss Starlin. This is Lane.
Why are you and Mary still in the building?
It's after 10.
Oh, I must help. I'm
Don't let her get up,
responsible.
Mary.
Yeah. Oh, I must help. I must not
I
hold
can't
me
explain
back.
now, Miss Starlin.
I must go.
Hang on to her.
I must help. You must not hold me back.
Don't worry, Mr. Zinthrop. We won't let anything happen to Miss Darlin.
Hello. Hello, Miss Starlin.
What's going on down there?
Stay in your office. I'll be right up. Keep an eye on Zinthrop, honey. I'm going upstairs.
Oh, no. The insects. The insects.
Take it easy, Mr. Zinthrop.
You do not understand. Miss Darling, she's in danger. I must warn.
Look, I'll have to stay here. You go for Jan. Okay. When you get up there, call the police. You can't get outside on this phone.
All right, I'll hurry.
Not the police. Not the police.
Call the police. What for? Look, I don't have time to...
Mary! I'm sorry I had to do that. There's no time for hysteria. Now, what is this?
The enzymes, they've gone crazy.
Sure, Mr. Zinthrop. Now, you just relax and take it easy. Everything will be all right. We'll take care of those, whatever
You do not understand. You do not understand that girl. You shouldn't have sent her upstairs. She's in danger. You must stop her before it is too late.
Okay, as soon as the cops get here, we'll take
Oh, you fool. Miss Darling will kill her and tear her body to shreds.
Miss Starlin, kill Mary?
Miss Darling is not a human being any longer. The enzymes have changed her. She will destroy the girl as a female wasp would destroy her enemies, and then devour the remains.
Then Bill found Mr. Zinthrup's notebook in Cooper's desk. No, there's no mistake. We've got to call the police now.
Now, Mary, you're just getting a little excited. Now, who could possibly want to hurt Mr. Coop?
I don't know. But it's not only Mr. Cooper. What about...
Mary!
I'll go with you.
I can't wait. I'm going to take the stairs.
Oh, look! Laboratory. She's gone to laboratory.
Get up the stairs fast. Mary. Oh, Mary.
was The Wasp Woman, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the film and the show. I've been your host, Hoff Matthews. My co-producers on this show were Andrei Alupului, George Gordon, and Marybess Pritchett. And thanks to Sam Corbin, who appeared at the beginning as Muffy Springwalter, and Natasha Vaynblat, who's in the Wasp Friend commercial. And the show will be back next week, same time, 9 p.m. on July 22nd, with The Amazing Mr. X. That is a spooky film noir from 1948 about a widow who gets involved with a mysterious psychic medium. I had never heard of it before I started looking up public domain horror movies, but it is very good, it's very well done, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So I hope you all come back next week for The Amazing Mr. X. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I hope you had a good time, and have a good night.